Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Sports News Flash at 12. I want to start this episode by paying my condolences to Tiger Woods' mother, Clotilda. She was 80 years old. She passed away recently. And she was someone in Tiger Woods' life that was a super motivator. She was very supportive. Every victory, every major victory that Tiger Woods had in his life, she was right there by his side. His father as well, before his father passed away. But she was, for so many years, the driving force behind Tiger Woods. She was tough on him for good reason. She was arguably his biggest supporter. She's the reason why Tiger Woods wore red on Sundays. All right. And this is what Tiger Woods had to say about her. My mom was a force of nature, all her own. Her spirit was simply undeniable. She passed away on Tuesday, February 4th, February 4th. Tiger Woods, he's a 82-time PGA Tour winner, and he's going to make his season debut at the Genesis Invitation. This is the first PGA Tour event that he will participate since the US Open Championship. So I'm sure that he's gonna come into Genesis Invitational with a lot of motivation. And this particular season, he's gonna come in with much more fire. It's going to be weird for him not to have his mom by his side, but he still has his family. He has his son there. But it's never easy when you lose a parent. I'm grateful and fortunate that I still have my parents, especially my mother, who I have a very strong relationship with, alive to this day. But it's never easy. But my condolences goes out to Tiger Woods and the Woods family. And we're gonna take a short break after this, and we're gonna get talk about some baseball. The Leones del Escogido of the Dominican Republic won the Caribbean Series by defeating Mexico 1-0. Robinson Cano was responsible for driving that RBI for DR. Their pitching was outstanding. The relievers did their job, especially Jimmy Cordero. This was an impressive victory, and they only gave up one hit in this game to close out the Caribbean Series. Our Pujols, I mean, I'm getting old because I saw Albert Pujols in his rookie season with the Cardinals in 2001, where he hit 37 home runs. And now I saw him for the first time managing a team. In his first year managing this ball club, he led them to a championship. So congratulations to Albert Pujols. This is just a incredible honor, incredible accomplishment by a future Hall of Famer. Just flat out unbelievable. Unbelievable. So now the Escogidos, they have won 5 Caribbean Series titles, tied for third place among individual clubs with Criollos de Cagua and Cangrejeros de Santurce, which both teams are from Puerto Rico. As for Dominican teams, Licey leads with 11, and Águilas Ibaeñas have 6. But the most important thing to know is that Dominican Republic has now won 23 championships. So, which is the most in the history of the Caribbean Series event. In the future, the Caribbean Series for next year, 2026, will be in Caracas, Venezuela. In 2027, will be in Mexico. And then in 2028, it will be in Miami. So I'm going to keep an eye on the one in Miami because for those of you who don't know, Miami is my favorite city. So love Miami. Another thing that I learned that, and I learned after finding out that Dominican Republic won the Caribbean Series, is that Albert Pujols have some thoughts to manage a MLB club someday. So that's pretty interesting. However, yes, it's the Winter League, and yes, he won, but it's a much different challenge when you manage an MLB ball club. I do think that he will accomplish that. However, I do expect him to struggle early on in his managing career in MLB. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see where he will land as a manager. I hope that is sometime sooner than later. I think that he will find a managing job before the decade ends. Don't know where. I don't want him managing the Cardinals. I want him to take the challenge somewhere else. Yes, the Cardinals is where he made his name, where his career took off. But I want him to see him thrive somewhere else as a manager. So like I said, I expect them to struggle early on because you can't achieve success without failure. And in order for Pools to succeed as a manager, he has to learn how to fail first. Yes, he did something amazing his first year running this ball club in the Dominican Winter League, but MLB is MLB. It's a whole different ball game. But I wish him the best. The Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2025 was announced on Thursday, and I'm happy with this year's club. I'm sorry, I'm happy with this year's class. So here are the players who will be going to Canton, Ohio this summer. Cornerback Eric Allen. I mean, this man has waited long, long, long for this moment. When it comes to the Hall of Fame, I'm a tough grader. If it were up to me, there would be so many people be left out. But one thing we also have to think is that when it comes to Hall of Fame, it's a waiting game. So you have to stay patient. Eric Allen, I only got to see him play for a short period of time with the Oakland Raiders in the early 2000s. I'm mostly accustomed of seeing him being an analyst on TV. In his 19th year of eligibility, him and his brother, defensive end Jared Allen, who in his fifth year of eligibility were named to the Hall of Fame. But they are not the only pair of brothers to go into the Hall of Fame. This particular person, I am so happy that he got in and is well deserved. For a 7 year, for a 7 year career, he was dominant. And that person is Sterling Sharp, Shannon Sharp's older brother. What he did in Green Bay as a wide receiver, you can say he was arguably neck to neck with Jerry Rice during that period. He's going to the Hall of Fame. I'm so happy. The neck injury ended his career, but what he did throughout the 7 years, and so many people say, how can he get in one of so many years? What? Watch his tape. Look him up. I definitely would have voted him into Hall of Fame a long time ago. But like I said, Hall of Fame is all about patience. You have to wait your turn. And I'm so happy that Sterling Sharp got in. I am super happy for him. So we have two pair of brothers. We have the Sharps and the Allens heading to Canton, Ohio. This next person, I had the privilege of growing up watching him play. And I feel that today, in today's NFL, he's forgotten because of Travis Kelce and Rob Gronkowski, but you really have to put him in the conversation as one of the greatest to ever play at the tight end position, and that is Antonio Gates. In his second year on the ballot, he got in. I felt that he should have been a first ballot Hall of Fame last year, but he got in this year. He was outstanding when he was playing with the Chargers. His his size, his athleticism, his skill set, his toughness. He's without a doubt one of my favorite tight ends that I've ever seen with my own eyes. Him and Tony Gonzalez are two of my all-time favorite tight ends. So I'm very happy that he got in. Just a tremendous player. He played for 15, 16 seasons in the NFL. And we had to think that before he got drafted by the Chargers, not only did he play football, but he played basketball as well. He played basketball at Kent State, and he even helped them get to the Elite Eight in 2002. And then he went on to sign with the Chargers as an undrafted free agent. And he finished his career with 955 receptions, which is the fourth most for a tight end in NFL history. He also had 116 receiving touchdowns, the most for tight end as well. So when it comes to catching touchdowns, no one has caught more touchdowns in a tight end position than Antonio Gates and Tony Gonzalez. Those two were prolific touchdown guys at that position. Gates is a 8-time Pro Bowler, a 6-time first or second team All Pro. He led the Chargers to 4 AFC West titles. And you're thinking, damn, how come you're mentioning his accomplishments more than the others? I could mention the others' accomplishments as well. But Antonio Gates was just someone that I had the privilege of watching throughout his entire career. That's why him getting in brings a big smile to my face. Him and Sterling Sharp, even though I never got to see Sterling Sharp play, but when I looked at his career, and this happened years ago, I started learning about Sterling Sharp years ago because of Shannon Sharp's Hall of Fame speech. Ever since then, I said, let me look up Sterling Sharp. And even then, Shannon Sharp was vouching for his brother to to be considered for the Hall of Fame. But and it was a beautiful moment between Shannon and Sterling when Sterling found out that he's going to a Hall of Fame. I'm just I'm just very, very happy for for these men to get in. This weekend is the WM Phoenix Open. It started on Thursday. Round one was sensational. Justin Thomas, he did very well. Wyndham Clark, he did well as well. But the one thing that stood out to me about this weekend's tournament so far is Emiliano Grillo's crazy, unbelievable hole in one at the 16th hole. If you haven't seen it, you have to check it out. But what I love about the most about him um pulling off that hole in one was the celebration afterwards. He was celebrating, but then he started going like, okay, who can I hug first? Who can I? It was just that reaction, him like trying to find out who he wants to embrace first, who he wants to jump in the arms with. That part was funny, but it was uh this will go down as one of the coolest moments in the Phoenix Open history. So, and this happened on Friday in the second round. He tee shot, when he tee shot it, I mean, it's hard. to pull off a hole in one, but the one that he pulled off is by far the most impressive one that I've ever seen. In because golf is not a sport that I have followed for so many years compared to baseball, basketball, and football. It wasn't until 2 years ago that I started following golf full time consistently. And this is the most impressive hole in one that I've seen in the 2 years that I've been following golf. They called it a slam dunk ace for this one, but I just love the celebration. And Grillo is the 12th golfer to have a hole in one since the WM Phoenix Open was first played at the stadium course in 1987. Before him, the recent golfers that pulled a hole in one were Carlos Ortiz and Sam Ryder in 2022. So again, if you haven't seen the video, I highly recommend it. To conclude this episode, Sports News Flash at 12, again, we gotta have to remind you guys that today is Super Bowl Sunday. Well, for some people I have to remind, but yeah, today's Super Bowl Sunday, Kansas City versus Philadelphia. Who do I think will win? Something tells me that Kansas City will pull off the 3P. However, I really hope that the referees don't get involved because they have done that in the previous two playoff games for the Kansas City Chiefs. I really hope that doesn't happen in the Super Bowl. I hope they call it a fair and square. But I do think that the Eagles have a chance to beat them. So I wouldn't mind whoever wins between the two. I'll be happy. It'll be Andy Reid going up against his old team again in the Super Bowl. In the last um in the second Super Bowl championship, Kansas City beat Philadelphia. I'm sure Jalen Hurts wants revenge, but this time he has help with Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley has a chance to do what Terrell Davis did back in 97, 98. I believe. Yeah, I believe it was 97, 98 with the Broncos, meaning that they have this outstanding regular season and then go off and win the Super Bowl. So I feel like that's the closest thing to Terrell Davis that we have seen from Saquon Barkley. So as a Giants fan, I'm happy for Saquon that he's having the success so far with Philadelphia. But make the best team win. That's all I can hope for. But I do think that Kansas City will win, and I do feel that this Super Bowl will be a close game. I will be shocked. I'll be disappointed if this is a lopsided victory by either or teams. But I expect it to be another close one. Thank you for tuning in to Sports News Flash at 12. Hope you guys have a great and relaxing Sunday. It's snowing here in New York, so I'm staying inside. Enjoy Super Bowl Sunday. Enjoy round four of the WM Phoenix Open. Enjoy other sporting events, basketball, hockey, etc. Be safe and may God bless each and every one of you. I'll see you guys on the next episode of Sports News Flash at 12.